We got this list via text messages as well as emails. However, we are still waiting to find out what classes and what grades this man was teaching. Captain Gary Winheim, he heard those shots. He was responding to that call, but he did not come face to face with the suspect until further down County Road 44. I would have to move within my allotted time, but then find another spot at least 500 feet away. That's all the way down there. Doctors say you should do it like this. First, you're going to put on a surgical mask. As cases have gone up, many people have wondered, where have you been? We saw people smiling. We also saw some tears. Remember, this is just the latest pandemic precaution to be reversed. And we first found out that more kids were being interviewed here at the sheriff's office. That's when I was having a one-on-one interview. The sheriff told me yesterday that just naming the schools would not have impeded this investigation.
I understand.
You can see some of the trash. There is this fence, but take a look. The gate's wide open. It's about creating your own experience. You can build your own lightsaber, your own droid. There's also an app that will let you unlock other secrets. Disney fans are excited to get back to the magic, but so too are cast members. Not just because they are Disney fans, but because they have bills to pay. Some of that Disney magic is returning. It's different, but guests and cast members are back. Daniel Ranieri and Corey Escobar are watching from home.
Waiting for my unemployment to come through and praying that Disney calls me soon.
They're both Disney resort servers and furloughed.
There's nothing there, just bills and no way to pay them, and it's just really scary.
The parks are coming back, but not everyone's back to work.
That's the perception. And no, that's not the case.
And there's a ripple effect in the community when the theme parks suffer.
So my landlord's a cast member. All three of us in this household are cast members. And there are tons of households like that throughout the Orlando area. And it's a web that stretches out very far.
Before the pandemic, Disney paid more than 70,000 cast members. How many have been called back is unclear. Disney won't say, but the Disney unions are. Unite Here Local 737 represents housekeeping and food and beverage cast members like Escobar and Ranieri. 7,000 out of 18,000 members were called back, about 39%. It's better for attraction and custodial workers with Local 362. More than 80% are back, a little less than 7,000 out of 8,000. The couple is concerned about COVID-19, but it's not their biggest worry.
At this point, I'd rather risk my health than be destitute with no money.
Praying Disney's reputation and pandemic precautions are enough.
I'm just scared, that's all.
To bring back workers and keep them working. Walt Disney World employs the majority of our theme park workers, but just remember, SeaWorld and Universal, they employ about another 30,000 people, and all of those workers aren't back yet either. And remember, those parks opened last month. Reporting outside the Walt Disney World, Cierra Putman, Channel 9, Eyewitness News.
70-30 split, about 70% female, 30% male, but I still felt both. Even now in this body.
Today, Julie Mayfield told her story to a class of UCF students. She was born James Bradford Mayfield and grew up thinking she was a boy until 17.
I have an extra chromosome. It's attached to every chromosome in my body. So I am 47 XXY.
It led to challenges first as a child.
The learning disability, the social delays, the not walking, the not talking.
Then at 17, she was put on testosterone. After that, other medical issues plagued her. In 2018, the National Institutes of Health reported she was born with more than just an extra chromosome.
No Adam's apple, breast tissue, one ovary and one testicle, partial pancreas, half pancreas, partial uterine floor.
She was diagnosed with lupus and osteoporosis of the lower back and spine, which meant she needed to be put on estrogen. If she didn't do it,
you'll be dead in 5 years.
Transitioning into a woman in her 40s was hard but necessary.
Same driver, same exact soul, just a better vehicle.
To better navigate her new life, Julie legally changed her name, then tried to change her gender on her Alabama birth certificate. But Alabama wanted proof of sex reassignment surgery, something she didn't have.
We need a court order. So that's where I came in.
Dr. Irene Pons and Julie met in the 90s working at Disney. Now Pons is an attorney and legal lecturer. With the help of UCF students, she filed this petition for gender marker change that a judge is now reviewing. The hope, if Florida changes it, Alabama will change the birth certificate.
You knew Julie before the transition.
Yes.
Well, what are the differences?
None. You just want to be Julie's friend. And it was the same way when she was Brad.
If the judge comes back and denies your petition, what's next?
We fight it, right? You don't stop.
So why is this so important? Well, she needs the birth certificate to change so she can travel more easily, get a passport, a loan for a house, issues, you know, a lot of us just take for granted.
Yeah, basic things that we all have. And if this local judge says no, Cierra, then what's next? What does she do?
Well, they're hoping that doesn't happen, but if it does, well, then they're going to try and find another attorney that can help them with an appeal. And if they have to, they plan to take this all the way to the Florida Supreme Court.
I love, too, that the UCF students are involved and they're assisting in this and helping to pull all this together. That's really great training for them as well.
It is. Actually, Dr. Pons was saying her students were so excited that they got to help with a real-life case and get to meet Julie. As you see, she was in the classroom again today. Well, Ima Black is 96 years old and has told shipbuilders to hurry up so she can see the completion of this Navy destroyer, a ship she'll help christen next week. Ima Black's home is a museum.
This is when we were dating.
A museum of the life she built with her husband, Delbert. At 96, she still remembers first seeing him at a basketball game with friends.
Kiddingly said to them, I like number 13. I like his legs.
Those eye-catching legs led to a 50-year marriage. Sadly, Delbert died in 2000. Now, first thing in the morning, she sees the Navy destroyer being built in his name. She got the news a few years back.
The USS Delbert D. Black. That sounds good to me.
Here's video of the construction of the Delbert D. Black DDG-119, courtesy of Huntington Ingalls Shipbuilding Division.
It's going to be a lot of bells and whistles on it to keep up with a modern Navy.
Delbert Black was the first ever Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy. He wanted the position to be a voice for enlisted men and women. Ima says some wanted him to fail, but he listened and heard the concerns of enlisted sailors and helped find solutions. Ima suggested he wear 3 stars.
And the office now is a huge success. The Master Chief of the Navy is at the Pentagon alongside the Secretary of the Navy and the Chief of Naval Operation, and they all work together for the good of the Navy.
And she was such a great interview.
I can tell.
She says that this ship isn't just for her or her husband, but all those enlisted sailors that he worked for.
Wow.
I like how she said she saw him and liked his legs. That's just, I knew I liked her then.
Yes, and obviously at this point we understand that her husband served in World War II, and she did too?
It's a crazy story. So he actually survived the attack on Pearl Harbor, and then she served in the Navy Waves, which is the Women Accepted for Volunteer Emergency Service. She said a recruiter came into the shop she was working for, and she knew that's how she was going to see the world. Wow.